when somebody asks me for help to buy a car right now, it's like, pick your poison. Do you want hemlock or do you want something else? I mean, it is tough, tough, tough to be a consumer right now in the vehicle market. And the only situation that people really should go forward with buying a car right now, and when I say car, I mean automotive transportation, could be a truck, SUV, whatever, is if your vehicle is toast or you had it totaled in an accident. Other than that, sit on your hands. So the good news, if there is good news, is the value of used cars that had gone up 70% now is up only 40 some odd percent from where it was 3 years ago. And the price of used cars is on a tick downward. That's why I told you recently that CarMax stock just got hammered because their results were way, 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 way worse than Wall Street had expected, all the analysts and all that. They just got eaten up because the used vehicle market is going through a overdue correction. We had all these crazy, unique, one-time factors that piled one on top of another that led to this massive run-up in used car values. And I'm not going to belabor the point. I'll just say very quickly, the supply chain disruptions with new cars, the factory shutdowns from COVID, building new cars, and the rental fleets having sold off their products to try to survive in 20 when nobody was traveling. They created this massive demand for used vehicles because they couldn't get new to replenish their fleets. So now, fast forward to late 22, where are we? Well, automakers one by one are getting better at producing vehicles. Tesla just reported a record quarter of vehicle sales, and the sales were not enough for Wall Street. So Tesla stock got hammered, even though their sales were way up from where they had been when they were suffering from severe supply chain disruptions. And one automaker after another, you look at the two big American companies, GM and Ford, both producing far more product than they were earlier this year. So they're figuring out how to unlock those supply chain disruptions, and they're getting the parts more and more they need. Although Ford got a black eye recently because they ran out of the little oval things that say Ford that are like a iconic thing that go on the front of a Ford vehicle. They ran out of those. And so they had vehicles they couldn't ship because of that. I mean, one little part that costs like nothing of everything on a vehicle shut down shipping. But automaker by automaker, they've adapted. They're building vehicles. They're sending them to dealers. And where dealers had none on their lots, there's still low inventory compared to normal numbers. But the new vehicle thing is gradually improving at a time with interest rates rising on vehicle loans, going up a fair amount. The affordability issue for a buyer will cause people to go on buyer's strike for new vehicles, unless the prices start to come down. I mean, this is as classic economic supply and demand as you could have. And the used vehicle market was so disrupted because of those rental car fleets and then people substituting buying a used car for a new because they couldn't get a new car. So the whole thing is going to come gradually, steadily back into equilibrium, which is why, unless you gotta get a vehicle now, don't. You know, you see somebody riding down the road in a vehicle that looks really cool to you. Let me tell you, that vehicle is going to look a lot more cool down the road, and by down the road I mean in time, if you wait, because it will be cheaper. Dealers have gotten really used to holding all the cards and selling the inventory they've had that's been scarce above MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price, selling vehicles at many thousands above. And you look at the luxury brands, they've been selling those at 10, 20,000 or more above manufacturer suggested retail price. And for some of the luxury brands, that will continue because people in the upper income strata still don't seem to be worried about money, and they're still buying those for now. Stock market stays down a lot longer, then that strata will lose some of that confidence, and those prices will come down from MSRP. But the most important thing is as the logistical log jams are broken and inventories rebuild, and these interest rates to borrow money to buy a vehicle continue their steps higher, it means that the prices of both new and used are going to trend down. You know, they went up like a rocket back really late 20 into 21, and then they stayed up, and then the used ones, the roller coaster reached its peak, and instead of coming back down where your stomach meets your throat, they're coming down really imperceptibly slowly, but they're steadily coming down on the used vehicles. The new vehicles will trend down as well. And time is your friend. Give it time, and then you buy. When you do go to buy your vehicle online, not at the dealer. Let me tell you this, clear as could be. You go to the dealer and you try to make your deal at the dealer, you will pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more than if you make your deal online. Online buying through one of the car buying programs, emailing dealers, buying through the Costco car buying program. Anything you do where you take away the home field advantage of the dealer. When you go to the dealer and you're in their environment, you have welcomed yourself into the grind. It's where the dealer can take advantage of you over multiple hours and get you not only to pay too much for a vehicle, get too little for your trade-in, pay too much for financing, and buy a whole bunch of stuff you don't even know what it is that's been added into the deal. That only can happen to you if you are the visiting team. You go to that dealer and you are on their turf. This is what they do every day. The power resides with you as long as you negotiate a deal on a vehicle from your home, from your office, from your laptop. That's where you're going to save many thousands of dollars. And if you are not a member of a credit union yet, when you are buying a new or used vehicle, this is mandatory. You must join a credit union, because credit union financing on a new or used vehicle is so much ridiculously cheaper than what you're going to get from a bank or a car dealer. You know, credit unions are owned by and for their membership. And so they're not going to mark up that vehicle loan to send a profit to stockholders. When you finance a vehicle at a dealer, you've got two markups, one for the bank and one for the dealer. So whose money is it you're spending? Who worked for that money? Whose wallet is it that's being picked? It's yours. Do this stuff right, and your wallet will thank you every single month. And as for how long your loan should be, go see what I say at Clark.com. Make sure you're sitting, because if you're standing and you see the longest any vehicle loan should be, you might pass out and hit your head.